Ready or not, here comes 2026 and January of 2026, which is a common no-buy month. And if you're not familiar at all with why people do a no-buy or a no-spend month, quarter, or year, I did make quite an in-depth video that I'll link here about the benefits of it. Now, I've done no-buy months before, but this year I'm having a no-buy year. And this is to help me achieve one of my big goals preparing for retirement, and that is to stop accumulation. So that is the overarching goal, but also I do expect it's going to help me stock away more money into my cash savings, which is something I'm really focusing on boosting to kind of weather any storm of changes in the stock market. So my rules are pretty simple. I'm just not buying physical things. And I'm not adding anything like new digital subscriptions, but I still will be like going out to dinner with friends or, the occasional coffee treat, that sort of thing. But I'm not going to buy any physical items. That includes home decor, that includes clothing, that includes toiletries, makeup that are just for myself, not, for the general household. Clothing, did I say clothing? So no physical items. And I'm going to try to do it for the whole year. Now, if there are things during the year that actually need replacing, like if I blow out the knees in a pair of jeans, I need to get a new pair of jeans, or if I use up all of my moisturizer and don't have any suitable substitutes that I can make, then I would buy a new moisturizer. But my goal is to here's how I'm preparing for my no-buy entire year. The first is to do an inventory audit. So to look at those items, especially items I have multiple of, and to get a handle on what I actually have. Is there anything like I'm probably going to run out of like next week or month? And make sure I have enough of that so that I don't break my no-buy right away. But with this audit, I also will be reminding myself of how many things I have, like how many jars of herbs I have, and so that I'm not tempted as much to buy something new. Like I've got it fresh in my mind. Julie, you already have a lot of t-shirts. Just go around my house and do an inventory so that it's fresh in my mind what I have. And I won't necessarily write all this down. It'll just be fresh in my mind. But I already have quite a bit. I'm also going to be decluttering as I do this. I declutter from time to time anyway. But one of my goals is to have a dedicated surface, and it's probably going to be just an empty shelf that I keep empty as a symbolic reminder, tangible, visual. Also, I can touch it and say, look at this empty space. And doesn't it feel great to have empty space and not have everything be so crowded? And don't you want to keep that space empty and not buy more stuff that will just fill it up? Now, I think this is a good idea for anybody, whether it's a shelf or a drawer or a cubby, just an empty space that doesn't get filled to remind you how good that sparseness can feel. It's a good anti-accumulation, anti-consumerism reminder to have that empty space to admire, so to speak, and to want to keep it that way. Another thing I'm doing is making an inspiration wallpaper for my laptop, which is where I do most of my online shopping. You could also do it for your smartphone if that's where you do most of your shopping. And I'm just going to have some things on that wallpaper to remind me what my inspiration is and what I hope to achieve by doing this no-buy year. And something else I'm doing budget-wise is I'm keeping the line items for guilt-free spending. Now there is some guilt-free spending for myself that I'll still do, like my massage. Yes, that's not bringing anything into my home. But I'll still give myself the regular budget, and that will be a nice way to track, oh, look how much I'm saving in my usual guilt-free spending category by not buying all this stuff. And my hope is that I won't be so tempted, I don't think I will be, to just spend it on services or food or whatever, but that'll just be a monetary way of tracking how well I'm doing by not buying items. And I'm also going to keep the same flexible spending, which is more for the household, because generally in our household, I'm in charge of that budget. I'm only going to be bringing into the household things that are needing to be replaced or that we really absolutely truly can't go a year without having. I'm also going to keep a wish list in my bullet journal. I decided not to just fill shopping carts on any websites, because that's just the easy temptation to go ahead and click now and purchase. But even just slowing down and opening up my journal and active writing it down, like I might even change my mind. Do you really want this before I get to writing it down, or if it's just a passing urge? But if there's something, as I'm getting out the journal and the pen and reflecting, I might decide, yeah, I really would like to have that. I could buy that in 2027, or I could ask for it for a gift. Before I tell you the next way I'm preparing for a no buy year, please go ahead and like this video. Thanks. Another important step, I think, when you're doing a 2026 no buy challenge is to tell a few people. So I was out to dinner with a few friends and I told them I'm doing this no buy challenge, and one of them was like, good for you, an anti-consumerism and really encouraging. And the other one was, well, what if you see something that won't be available next year that maybe is a one-of-a-kind thing? And I said, then I guess I'll do without it. And it's really just sitting here hard for me to imagine that such a thing exists, because I don't go to art shows or anything where I might be tempted to buy art that would be impossible to get, or I can't think of anything that I use that people might stop producing. But it was interesting to just see two people that I love very much and their different perspectives on taking on this challenge. I have dinner or meet with them once a month, and I can share my progress, how I'm doing. And also making this video with you and hoping that, especially if you're doing one yourself, we can encourage each other in comments and as I give you updates, which subscribe if you want to get my monthly updates on how the year is going. I think telling someone keeps you accountable, and I understand not wanting to tell people, because then if you fail, then you have to tell them, but that's kind of the point. And also, you can never really fail, because if you've never tried to not buy anything at all before, then even a week is a success. And I know if I go off course this year, I'm just going to go back on course and not say, oh, well, I only got, till April, I guess I'm giving up. Because any amount of no spending you can do is going to help you with your anti-consumerism goals and also, your bank balance. I also recommend, and I am doing a recording of my progress. I guess I'm literally recording my progress by making monthly update videos for you in this YouTube community. But if you don't have a YouTube channel, then you can record it somewhere else. It could be anything like checking off days on a physical calendar, which I think I'm going to also do. I just find that really satisfying, Xing out the day I went today without buying anything. Or it could just be journaling every day, especially I think that's helpful if it's really going to be challenging for you, is to just journal your feelings about how you felt at the end of the day or the week or the month doing a no spend challenge. Have you ever done a no spend month or a no spend quarter or even a no spend year? What are your tips and tricks? I'd love to learn from you, as would other people watching this video. If we've never met before, I am Julie. I own and operate a small in-home childcare and Montessori toddler program, and I'm looking to retire in 18 months. and that will be in June of 2027. And one of my goals to prepare for retirement was to just stop accumulating stuff and get out of the accumulation phase of my life, which will help my budget in retirement and also help my savings as I head into retirement. All right, thanks for watching. Remember, you can save a life by giving blood if you are able to. And I hope to see you in the comments and the next video.